Anthropic came out with a report very recently that stated that they had identified that there had been some malicious use of Claude Code by, they say, an identified state-owned actor from the east of the world. And this cyber-espionage campaign was heavily utilizing Claude Code to break into multiple large global companies' infrastructure. And the way it had been done is that Claude Code had been tricked, jailbroken, however you want to call it, into being a cybersecurity expert, performing penetration testing.
Welcome back. This is the Agent Workforce Podcast, episode number 22. I am Kristiina Auberi. I lead marketing at Digital Workforce. And today with me, my amazing co-host again, Niko Lehtonen, AI Solution Architect. How are you doing, Niko?
I'm good. It's been a very packed week once again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great as well. I was at an event yesterday, which we organized, and I haven't had lots of time to play around with GPT 5.1, but let's talk about that anyway today and some other great topics that we've come across in the past week. So let's kick off. Let's start off with, in today's episode, we'll talk about GPT 5.1, which came out yesterday. Maybe you can share some updates on Agent Builder. I've heard that you've used that intensively in the past 1 week or so. Then maybe something that Anthropic released yesterday, a security incident, which I think is worth us looking into a little bit. And then the McKinsey report. There are a couple of points that I want to make from that report. But with that, let's get started with OpenAI news, I guess. So with GPT 5.1 came out yesterday. I have had very little time to test that, but according to my first tests, it does obey my instructions, I guess, better than before. So what they are releasing here is that they want to make GPT 5.1 more enjoyable to talk to. So there was a backlash of 4.0 when they removed 4.0, and people really missed that. And then they had to bring back people to be able to choose that model. And now with 5.1, they say that they make it easier for people to shape their ChatGPT tone according to their preferences. They have some new default tones that you can pick there. And then also it's more according to instructions that you give. And based on my super quick chats that I've had it with it yesterday, last night, and this morning, it does feel different. Have you had a chance to experiment 5.1 yet?
No, I only take a look at it that there are these different personas you can now choose from that sort of try and affect the mood of the LLM. And OpenAI described the moods in a very anthropomorphic way, in the sense that they this is a warm person almost, and so on. So haven't tried it. I'm curious to see if this has any effect on the processing quality itself.
Yes.
It shouldn't, of course, but I'm sure someone will find some differences.
Yeah, I'm sure. And Ethan Mollig, whom we referred to in the last episode as well, the AI professor out there, he gave it a try with using the same prompt and the different personalities that are inbuilt in ChatGPT, and he got really, really different types of responses. So you have to be aware of these different personalities. But I guess that gives you more freedom as a user to define it as the genuine type of assistance you'll have with you based on the tone you want to use and so forth. But let's keep to OpenAI still. I've heard that you've been using Agent Builder. So do you have more to share now? You had just trialed it last time we spoke about it, but any updates you want to share?
Yeah. I had one customer project I was able to utilize there as well, and it can do a lot of things compared to some of the other low code, no code solutions. It can do very much the same thing. Of course, you have even a bit more control in the OpenAI agent builder. But then again, you are limited to OpenAI's models that are within your subscription. So you can't use Claude there and so on. But I did notice that how easy it was to replicate a project that you've been doing on another platform to doing it on the agent builder, and getting results that are exactly the same. So we're very close to it, at least. There are still some niggling things in the tools, unfortunately. So every now and then the model just freezes or the software just freezes. You have to push the stop button or refresh the page and just try again. And sometimes it just gives you an error. It doesn't describe what the error is, which is also a bit of a pain, because obviously I'd like to understand what's causing it, or at least what's the description for the error, so I can try and find a way of going around it. But if it just happens every now and then for no clear and obvious reason, then I'm just left guessing. So I guess what I'm saying is that it will probably be more suited for the sort of personal use agents rather than something that's going to run in the background on a scheduled basis and so on, at least in this state. And actually, if you try to look for agent builder tutorials and videos on YouTube, all of the hits are just for simple assistants, just your run-of-the-mill shopping agents, whatever, the same kind of stuff that has been talked about for over a year now. I couldn't find any that went to anything that's more complex, anything that used multiple data sources and so on. So I had to do one myself. I didn't make a video of it. Maybe I will, maybe I should, but yeah, it can do a lot of things. And this was just with the 4.1 model. I didn't even try with GPT-5 yet, because 4.1 already got me to where I wanted, which is also good.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Maybe you'll break the internet by making the first video of building a complicated, a complex AI agent using the agent builder. But of course, we need to keep in mind that it's a fairly new product still. So but yeah, good to get that feedback indeed. All right, let's move on to our next topic, and that is the McKinsey report. And that came out maybe a week ago. I don't know exactly, but that's getting a lot of attention across my network. So I thought that I want to bring that up here as well. And I think you've had a read as well. And there are 2 points that I want to make from this. And well, firstly, this online survey was from June 25th to July 29th, and it had responses from 1,993 participants in 105 nations, representing a full range of regions, industries, company sizes, functional specialities, and tenures. 38% of respondents say that they work for organizations with more than 1 billion in annual revenue. So there's definitely this enterprise element to it as well. But there are 2 points that I want to make of this is firstly on AI agents and how they define AI agents as foundation model systems that can act in the real world, plan, execute multi-step workflows. And according to the survey, 62% of organizations are at least experimenting with agents, and 23% say that they're already scaling an agentic AI system in at least one business function. And another 39% have begun experimenting, and use is still early stage. It's most common in IT for things like service desk management and in knowledge management for deep research, especially in tech, media, telecom, healthcare. And the most organizations have not yet redesigned workflows or built the platforms or guardrails needed to run agents at scale. I'll pause there. Anything you want to say on agents or the report otherwise?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it just reflects a lot on what we see and what I've seen with the discussions I've had with our customers, and prospects, and so on, that so many organizations are still struggling with their AI policies, getting those lined down, and figuring out how they need to act with these things, that I don't wonder that not many are beyond the pilot stage, because even if they had the vision to go beyond, they might be blocked currently because of the lack of sort of wider AI understanding within the organization. So they are sort of stuck at building these pilots in their own corner, and and that's about it.
Yeah, true. But then on the other hand, we're seeing a gap. That's the other point I wanted to make of this report, that what they define as AI high performance, and which are about 6% of respondents in this case, organizations that attribute at least 5% EBIT impact to AI and report significant value. They are far more ambitious. Half they say you aim to use AI to transition their business and not just drive efficiency. Around 3/4 are scaling or have scaled AI versus about a third of the others. And they invest more. Over 1/3 put more than 20% of their digital budget into AI. Imagine that. So they're definitely investing in it and seeing the value outside of efficiency gains only. And they are using AI in more functions, including marketing and sales, strategy, finance, product, service development, and nearly 3 times as likely to have fundamentally redesigned workflows. And that's where I want to pay some attention as well. So they are definitely one key success factor for high performance in this case is the redesigning of workflows. That's, of course, nothing new to us, but it's pretty clearly stated in this report.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess that the fact that these companies you mentioned here are the ones who are also investing a lot into it. So of course they're getting more out of it as well. And that's the thing. Most of the market is still being very careful for many reasons. They might not have the mandate from the top to put so much effort into this. And that's the likeliest reason. I wonder where we're going to start seeing that shift of the next wave of organizations sort of waking up to their possibilities even more.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, but maybe, I mean, just investing in it and thinking it more broadly as a driver for innovation, growth, transformation, just not just as an efficiency tool, and using broadly across different functions. So yeah, and of course, highly related to AI agents and the use of AI agents in the organizations. Let's move on to our next topic, and that's the Claude security incident, which Anthropic announced yesterday. I'll let you talk through that. Maybe if you want to share what happened and why this is such a big deal.
Yeah, so Anthropic came out with a report very recently that stated that they had noticed, identified that there had been some malicious use of Claude Code by, they say, an identified state-owned actor from the east of the world. And this cyber-espionage campaign was heavily utilizing Claude Code to break into multiple large global companies' infrastructure. And the way it had been done is that Claude Code had been tricked, jailbroken, however you want to call it, into being a cybersecurity expert performing penetration testing. And it had been given the tools that, well, it doesn't specify to be honest, but knowing a bit about the cybersecurity space, very likely it's been using the same kinds of tools and code packages that pen testers use in these kinds of situations, and hyper using that with AI had been the way to go here. And just being able to do thousands of requests per second, break into these companies, identify and extract, top secret information, harvest passwords and users, and those kinds of things. And they say that this activity was in mid-September, and it doesn't say which companies are affected. For
Yeah, I think
instance,
it.
yep.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere that it included large tech companies, financial institutions, chemical manufacturing companies, government agencies. Roughly 30 global targets succeeded in a small number of cases. That's what I think it says here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there have been some outages in certain banks at that time in Australia and the US. I did a bit of searching. Cloudflare also had a longer outage during
Mm.
mid-September. Whether these are connected, I don't know. It doesn't state. We can only speculate. But I would presume that I mean, almost all of the security incidents that are happening at the moment are going to be AI powered. And Anthropic do raise the case here in this report as well that just means that you're going to want to have AI to defend yourself from these attacks. So if Claude Code was doing this well when it was told to be a penetration tester, then I could do the same and then improve my defense based on the findings of this pen tester. Also, it won't take long until the scripts and the prompts used by this are in the dark web somewhere, utilized by a lot of people. And it does say it here as well that the less capable and less resourced actors can also now leverage these and get outcomes that would not have been possible for them before. So yeah. But of course, this is not on Anthropic by any means. It's not on Claude. I would argue that any large language model, you could do the same thing or get to the same thing. In this case, it's Anthropic that has come out with this and said that we identified this activity and we stopped it when we noticed it and so on. But it will be interesting to see how this goes in the future. Are these LLM providers going to start having certain types of guardrails themselves that attempt to identify this type of behavior? I mean, in large scale, you can have those, but if someone does a smaller scale one, how would you recognize it from some other kind of use? I don't know. Probably you won't.
Yeah. And kudos to, like you said, to Anthropic for disclosing this and making it like public and sharing the information. And it's super important that the leading labs work together on these security matters. And I know Google is doing a lot on that front. One of my favorite podcasts is DeepMind podcast. That's Google's podcast. And there was actually it was 2 episodes where I think it was head of security or something like that from Google sharing how has the world changed now with Gen AI and AI agents and all that. And of course, Google has done a lot and shared a lot of the things they've experienced in the past and for the benefit of the world and the society and all the other actors. So yeah, we are hopeful. And like you said, they also, of course, see it as an opportunity and to build even better like guardrails and in a way like AI agents that are protecting from the malicious AI agents. So but it's a wild, wild world. And I think this is first of a kind of this level of incident that we've heard or seen happening. And so if it's like 80 to 90% of the entire campaign is AI, completed by AI, and the rest is left for humans. So yeah, that's pretty wild. I was chatting with Notebook LM about this report, and yeah, it gave a pretty good analogy that imagine a bank heist, and before AI agent, human team had to drive the getaway car, crack the safe, serve the cameras, communicate constantly, and now the human only had to push a button to start the operation. And highly intelligent self-driving robot AI agent handles 90% of the entire process, from scouting, building, finding weak points, cracking the vault door, sorting the cash, and all at lightning speed. So yeah, that's what we're facing today.
Yeah. I mean, if you try to do it in the physical world, I mean, we have Waymos now, but I guess everything else would be a manual task.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do say in this Anthropic article that basically the reason why 80 to 90% was done by AI and not all of it was because there were some hallucinations and some critical decision points at some given moments. But so Claude, for instance, hallucinated a bit, saying that it found top secret information when it was in fact publicly accessible. And some of the user password combinations had been hallucinated. So it wasn't a perfect hit and run in this sense, but yeah, I mean, like all of these solutions, I'm sure they will polish that as well, malicious actors. But yeah, I mean, if you're able to do this, and I wonder how much preparation, how much build time all of this took from the actors. Are we talking about days or weeks? We're probably not talking about months. That's the thing. So everything's getting faster all the time. Also,
Yeah, that's right. Okay, anything else you wanted to share this week with our listeners, Niko?
Yeah, I think that's about it from my side. Just looking forward to exploring Agent Builder even further, and I, I think I have to do that video just to prove a point.
Sounds good. Looking forward to that. But okay, let's call it a wrap for this week's episode. Thanks, Nico, and I look forward to chatting with you soon again. And thanks everyone for listening. Have a
Thank
great
you.
weekend.